Alrighty, and here we go. So we've got Adequate
I
Finch
think,
at the bottom of your screen on Yetis, AsheAcer on the top on Rakano. This seems like a mulligan Stormguard.
yep, easy mulligan from me. Of adequate Finch's hand. You're on the draw. You don't have anything to do until turn 3. Now this is looking way better because
Yeah,
you have
this
a
hand
turn
looks much better.
turn 1 play, turn 2 play. Especially against Rakano Kira. Because the Kira decks tend not to do anything until at least turn 3, just to make sure that they have the protection spell up as backup. You can really capitalize on them having a fairly slow opening. And especially, I actually quite like Adequate Finch's matchup into, well, this deck here,
Mhm.
mainly because you do generate a bunch of snowballs, but you can also quite easily overwhelm the Kira deck before they get anything set up.
Absolutely. Okay, and AsheAcer are looking at a hand of a lot of power. They've got 3 more power plus a Justice Etchings. They've also got an Aijin, a Lord Stayer's Tower, and they've got this Ironthorn Lawman that they just played out. So a little bit of a slower hand for AsheAcer, but let's see if they can stabilize here. Adequate Finch, though, what a hand here. Getting those early Yetis out, but then also a Yeti Pioneer and a Yeti Spy to follow it up. Got everything. Adequate Finch just cooking with gas here.
I think they could go with. I think you probably actually lead on the slow speed salvo because if they have the intrusion, then you can just permafrost it and play out the Yeti Spy. If they don't have the intrusion, you get to kill it, and you can play out your Yeti Pioneer. So really like this very nice play from Adequate Finch here. Common cause probably bottom that. Yep, plenty of power. 4 is plenty of power for the Yeti stack. To be perfectly honest here. Okay, Aijin, empowered Aijin here, but unfortunately, that's probably going to end up eating a seer,
Mhm.
especially since we saw that AsheAcer didn't have the intrusion last turn. Ooh, do they? Ooh, Bubble Shield instead. All right.
Bubble Shield there.
They probably suggest Permafrost. I would. Okay, not permafrost. Probably saving it for, I guess, a Sadiki, which open deck list. They can see it, so on and so forth. Opting to block here.
Gonna make that trade. That is the visual bug at the top of the screen. AsheAcer has 3 cards in hand. They have a Treasure Trove, a Justice Etchings, and a Lord Stayer's Tower. Adequate Finch gonna play out an Ash Elemental and a Yeti Spy here. So going super wide now. They've got all their units out. All they've got is a Permafrost in hand. AsheAcer with an opportunity to stabilize here. They can tower out a pair of Valkyries, but the tower will eat the dust if they choose to do that. They can also merchant. Let's see what they have. And they have a Vanquisher's Blade, a Pristine Light, a Mantle of Justice, an Ikaria, and a Crown Watch tactic. Those don't sound great. I guess you could try to go for like a Pristine Light in case Adequate Finch plays a Wump or something, but not great options here.
Actually, they don't. If they have power, I actually quite like the Crown Watch tactic here because it
Okay,
does give life steal,
that's
which
true.
is yeah, which is very helpful against the Yeti's deck. Also, if AsheAcer does end up going for the Lord Stayer's Tower, I'm not even sure if Adequate Finch cares much about it
Yeah, I
because
agree.
you always kill them.
So Ashe decides to go
That
with the Pristine Light there. Pock Pock off the top for Finch. I want to do here. With this attack off of the Yeti Pioneer, you will get an extra power here. So, yep, going to use the Permafrost before combat. Get all your attacks in.
Waiting to see what if they can. Okay, so not unfortunately did not draw a Yeti to bond with Pop here, but I think you're fine just playing out. Yep, playing out an emblem and then playing out whatever else you
Yep.
get from the emblem here.
And then Inspired
Ooh,
Prank
never
here.
mind.
Okay, there you go. That's actually pretty nice. Going to go ahead and just get Inspired Prank with that 4th power to get a 3/3 Snowman. Nice play. You always forget
Ooh,
about Bargain, but did hit the enemy player with 2 Yetis.
okay.
AsheAcer with an Ikaria off the top. Going to play that one out. But unfortunately, Finch has a lot
You
of
can
damage coming through.
power units, but that still puts them down to dead to a snowball,
Into a
which
snowball.
we know that can make next turn.
Yeah, they can make next turn. They can't put AsheAcer down to 1 and snowball this turn.
Hmm.
But snowballing next turn's just fine. All right, gonna put AsheAcer down to 1. An emblem, and you can play out 2 units. Can play out both the elementals here. AsheAcer needs an answer
Yeah,
in a hurry. I'm not sure there's anything
I don't
AsheAcer here can do.
answer. Yeah, I don't like the pristine light. There is just not. I think that was an unfortunate, incorrect market pull by Ashe. So they're definitely have gone with the counterward standard if they're still
Yeah,
in
that's
power.
tough. I mean, if the next turn had been exactly Wump or Mass Maker or something, and you can wipe the board with that pristine light, that would be one thing. But that's pretty tough there. Right. So AdequateFinch Yeti's gonna take that game 1, and WSG Ron taking the first game over the Burgund 1-0 here. I have a note from SRFS here that through the first 3 rounds, Cal Shadowstep 2-0'd each of the first 3 matches. So Cal Shadowstep is 6-0 on games tonight, 100% game win rate so far. So that's pretty impressive with that
Oh,
Stonescar deck.
yep.
Stonescar,
Unfortunately, I
Stonescar and
think
Yetis. This is Rakano. We're playing 2020 or 2019 Eternal here tonight. All right, let's head down for game 2 for AdequateFinch versus AsheAcer. Right, what do you think of this one? 3 mask makers and a Thudrock. You wanted lords. Well, here's 3 mask makers and a Thudrock's masterwork.
no power, unfortunately, and
Power.
again, adequate finches on the, which is not where the Yetis deck. I mean, they're still probably favored unless AsheAcer pulls what what does AsheAcer pull here? Unless AsheAcer pulls Hojan Silverblade Intrusion, probably.
Well, they've got Kodosh Evangel, Hojin, Valkyrie Enforcer, Etching. So they've got some cards to work with here. Let's see how fast AdequateFinch can go. Insignia off the top with a Yeti Spy and then 2 more Yeti Spies next turn is a good place to start.
I think you're actually fine just playing out the Evangel here as a
Yep,
2/2 lifesteal. Yep, and
yep,
that's
absolutely.
exactly what
Oh,
Ash
Blazing
goes.
Salva off the
Ooh,
top. Oh,
ah, fortunate there.
I'm
Probably
actually
put
going to go with the
away one.
Pummel line instead. Okay.
Makes sense. Saving the Blazing Salvo, which is like fast feed removal for some, perhaps a bigger threat, even if it does mean giving them to like.
Comes the Hojin. Now they do have a Trickshot Ruffian and a Justice Etchings, but I'm going to play out the Hojin here against 2 Yetis.
What do they have? Oh, okay.
Don't have anything, so just AsheAcer just lining up a block just to trade with a Yeti Spy. And if you're adequate Cincha Seed, you have to be pretty happy with that. I'm totally fine
Yeah,
trading a
I'm
Yeti Spy for a Hojin. Trade that all day.
absolutely thrilled by that if I was in adequate Finch's position. Okay, here Aijin makes
The
sense. Like
Aijin
previous
is
turns,
essentially just a 3/3.
just to make a big blocker with Ruffian.
Yep.
That's fine.
All right, 2 blockers.
Without a permafrost, adequate Finch can't quite get through. They can
Yeah.
combine, I guess, Mask Maker plus the salvo,
Mass Maker plus Salvo. And then you've got an
or
Ice
they
Bolt,
could
Seer,
go. They could
Dazzle.
just go for Did they go for pre-combat poke the Aijin, grab the ice bolt?
Hold the 5/6. That's a nice turn there. You can get rid of the 5/6. You can put Aijin down to a 3/1, which now is going to force to trade any of these units, but definitely going to take out the Pioneer for sure. Draw a card off of the Yeti Spy, and that's an emblem.
Ooh, that's an emblem. Very nice. And now,
Back up Aijin.
second Aijin.
All right, AsheAcer's putting up a fight. AsheAcer's at 24.
Ooh, that's a torch.
That's a torch,
That
but
is a
that's
torch.
okay. I mean, you're still at 24 health. You've got cards to work with. You've basically forced AdequateFinch to exhaust all their resources. It'll put you down to 20, but you've got a Merchant now. You've got a Valkyrie Enforcer. You've got a Justice Etchings. AdequateFinch can make this a game.
Oh yeah,
Another
absolutely.
torch.
If oof, those are some very fortunate top decks from AdequateFinch, but
Yeah, AsheAcer can't catch a break here.
if AsheAcer can take a Merchant plus, what do they go for?
Here comes a Merchant, and now they grab that Crown Watch tactic, and they have the 2 power to give a unit +3/+3 in lifesteal. Right, here comes that Crown.
Tactic. And unfortunately, the Blazing Salvo isn't quite enough to finish off the Merchant here.
Look at that.
Gonna have to...
Because it's a 5/3. Okay, you can Inspired Prank here, which is another great play. Just tons of good plays. That's going to make a 6/6, so going to keep things going here. But AsheAcer at 16, stabilized.
Now just need to find a little bit more gas. Trick Shot
Ruffian can block. Well, Pock plus Blazing Salvo could take care of the Merchant if needed.
Yeah, I think you just salvo the Ruffian and then sear the Merchant here, especially because you know that AsheAcer doesn't have any cards in hand.
Yeah, that's better. That's much more efficient use of your cards. You lose the Pock, but that's okay. Gonna take care of that Merchant. Now the doorway's open. Gonna hit for 10. And that's gonna put AsheAcer down to 6 with a 6/6. Justice Etching's not gonna be enough. I mean, that shows the power of the Yeti deck there. AsheAcer, I felt like, did almost everything they could in that game and still wasn't enough. So AdequateFinch gonna take that one too.